Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, March 4th of 2023. Welcome to our One Taiji Lecture a Week. From the European Taiji Culture Communication Center. The European Taiji Culture Communication Center is a global network platform and provided the gateway for many of deeper application of traditional Chinese culture, philosophy, medicine, and sinology. We have worldwide grandmaster in this field to give our public lectures and hope more and more people will enjoy our beauty of Chinese culture. My name is Jiang Yu from Germany. Today, we will continue to learn our Yang style 37 form Taijiquan from our grandmaster Zhao Youbin and his son Zhao Liang. The 20th form is step up and punch downwards, 进步再锤. Form 21, turn over and wide neck split is tongue. 翻身白舌吐信. Form 22, part of world horse's man, left and right. YouTube channel and also in our homepage. Okay, let me start our video prepared from Mr. Zhao Youbin.
Hello, I'm Zhao Youbin. Very happy to see you again. Today, we will continue to explain some basic essentials of Yang family Taijiquan. In previous classes, we talked about step techniques, and today we will go on with its applications. In the form cloud hands, this is a side step, horizontal step. Then, how do we understand it, and how do we practice it? The target of the side step in the routine is in fact for outflanking. For example, in a pair practice, I hold the opponent with my right hand, pull down and go around to the back of him. After turning to the back of the opponent, I may push or bunt him or using other similar movements. However, I must make an explanation that in the routine it is not described in this way. It is shown in the form of a side step. This is a rotating step, trying to move to the back of the rival for pushing or for something else. Then, for a correct side step, what should we pay attention to? This will be our main topic for today. The leg techniques, the movements of the waist and the hips are important for making a correct side step. And the arms should be round and lively. During the moving, such as warding off, splitting, pushing, pulling down, and arm hooking, the force of the hands and arms should always be continuous. For making a side step, what shall we pay attention to? When we step to the left, the right leg should be solid and the left leg should be empty, and the waist and hips should be relaxed. Now, I step out. Look, it is the big toe that firstly touch the ground, and then the index toe, the middle toe, the fourth toe, and the little toe successively. That is, the outer edge of the foot drops down, not the other way around like this. And also the legs will be solid and powerful. it easily allows you to open the crotch. I will stress this point again. When lowering the left leg, firstly the big toe drops down, and then the index one, the middle one, the fourth one, and the little one successively. Be sure to avoid lowering the foot with its inner side. It is the same for lowering the right foot. Though it looks like dropping down vertically, we should feel that the force is transmitted successively from the big toe to the little toe. When lowering the foot, let the knee joints look for the tip of the toes. Do not close the two knee joints. Do not spread them either. The figure looks like the shape of a ladder. You may have a look. It is okay if the knees cover your tiptoes. It is not okay if you close the knees like this or open them like this. If you spread the knees too much, the power would be dispersed. And if you close the knees too much, the crotch would be too narrow and the movement would be stiff. This is the second one. The third point, as the weight moves from right to left, we should feel the transmission of the force through the legs and also the gradual change of the emptiness and solidness. For example, when we step out, we should let the inner sides of the feet, the calves and the thighs form a round crotch. Relax the hip joints and draw the buttocks in so as to let the force of the left foot circulate to the inner side of the right foot. Please watch. Now, it is a round crotch and both legs carry the weight evenly. I continue moving to the left, and now the left leg is solid and the right one is empty. During this gradual changing process, it is not that we move the crotch casually like this without any force feeling. We should feel that the force starts from the left foot, then transmits to the inner side of the leg. Then the round crotch relaxes the hips, draws the buttocks in, and finally the force reaches the right leg. The crotch coordinates the emptiness and solidness of the legs. This is so-called three legs. Lowering the foot, forming a round crotch, relaxing the hip joints, drawing the buttocks in. There must be a feeling of twisting the legs on the ground. We should try to avoid casual movement. There is also a certain change of the waist, loins, and hips. It belongs to the body technique, but it has something to do with our side step. That is, relaxing and sinking the hips. For example, now I lift the leg and step out. This is my waist, very flat. It is wrong. While the foot drops down on the ground and the crotch force moves from right to left and the tailbone is sunken, we should feel pulling down the waist. The hip joints should be relaxed and sunken. Just like we are sitting on a bench, the body should be sitting down. This is the process of moving the leg, including relaxing the hips and drawing the tailbone in, etc. During this process, we also feel withdrawing the abdomen and the anus muscles, which are closely related movement. We will not touch it here. The above is the moving process of the legs. During this process, there is a very important point, 手中. Keep the central equilibrium, that is, a sensation of the movement. How to understand it? I turn back. It seems not wrong if the tailbone moves from right to left horizontally. But there is no feeling of the force. And how to feel it? How to do? Look. How to keep the central equilibrium? When the tailbone moves leftwards nearly to the center of the body, between 40 to 60%, I rotate the body and twist the waist and the hips, moving all parts of the body in an arc, hereinafter referred to as round moving, together with the tailbone sinking at the same time. This movement is not rectilinear. We should have such a force feeling of rotating, twisting, and sinking. Remember, all the above movements are circular. Watch again. I start from the 40% of the position, gradually round moving, now at about 60% of the position. We should feel that the waist, the hips, and the loins are sinking. The backbone is rotating and keeping the balance. Meanwhile, we should feel that the circular moving of the waist and loins makes the force of the lower body sink and transfer the force to the hands. Let me show you again. This is not right. Moving horizontally, but instead, the middle part of the body rotates and sinks, and we should feel a force coordinates the upper and the lower body. We should have such a force feeling. Then I would like to emphasize, we should pay attention to the change of emptiness and solidness of the feet during moving. When the weight moves leftward or the weight is nearly on the left leg, the left hip should be withdrawn and the waist should be sunken. We should not move the body with stiff waist and hips. The body leans slightly to the left. Again, the weight moves leftward. Look, the body is not upright, a little slant. Then I withdraw the hip and my body leans a little to the left in order to keep the balance. We should keep the balance by adjusting the legs and the waist. The so-called keep the central equilibrium is the balance of the weight center point, a kind of moving posture, an equilibrium state on the whole. When the weight moves onto the left leg, the weight center is towards to the right, so we should withdraw the hip and bend the body a little forward in order to keep the balance. As for the empty leg, it is the knee joint that leads pulling up the leg. At this time, the left hip is relaxed and the calf drops naturally. Do not make the muscles rigid. The relaxing point is not at the knee joint. We use the knee joint to pull up the leg, just like holding a bag. The calf is relaxed and drops naturally. The hip is also relaxed. We feel and find out this change of emptiness and solidness. As for the solidness implies flexibility. The above is about the left leg. Now it is time for the right leg. It is relaxed, but relaxation implies solidness because when we pull up the knee joint, the complete leg is relaxed, so it is solid and sunken. At the same time, it is flexible. The force is not empty. So we should concern all moving points for each part of the body in the side step of the leg techniques. Especially the crouch force should always keep the central equilibrium during the horizontal moving. Next, we will simply talk about single leg stance in golden rooster standing on one leg. For example, in the pushing strike of the right leg, the force point is on the knee joint. The force must not be locked. So the muscles of the knee joint, of the calf, of the hip must all be relaxed. We push the right leg up and the leg itself has no force. If there is force in the leg, the pushing force would be reduced. Secondly, for making a single leg stance, there are some opposite movements. For example, when we lift right leg, the waist and the left hip should accordingly do the opposite, that is, moving back and downward. The left hip sinks and sits backward. The left lower back, left loin, moves back and down, and the hip should be withdrawn. We could not do like this, just simply lifting the right leg. We should have stretching and extending movement. The left lower back and left hip and the right leg move in opposite directions. Of course, at the same time, with the both hands spreading up and down in order to keep the balance. So we say that Taijiquan is a kind of sports in which we can feel changes of yin and yang, emptiness and solidness. Its gradual changes, such as emptiness implies opening, and opening implies closing. All this is a gradual changing process of the force, and the crouch plays a key role in coordination. That's all for the side step. Thank you very much.
重心前移，取左脚，左拳变掌，两手弧形从腰际向前，左手搂，右拳下击。注意体型要和腿顺。 动，重心不变，左脚将内扣，提右转，左手上弧形，右手横落握拳。第二动，起右腿，左手起，右手落，转身劈拳，同时变掌，右手带回，左手推出，白蛇吐气。第一动，右脚尖外摆45度，两手逆时针圆抱，左脚上前一步，随弓步，两手前后分开，左野马分鬃，右野马分鬃，左脚尖外摆，两手顺时针抱球，右脚上前一步，随弓步，两手左右分开。
Okay, hello everyone. Let's go on to explain the simplified 37 forms of Yang style Taiji Chuan. The trend, step forward and punch downward. Follow the turnpikes is bending downward and hitting action. This is step forward and hitting downward. We can see from its name that it is a barrel down hitting. It's similar to the needle at C button. However, step forward and punch downward, 进步栽锤, is one of the 5 chui of Taiji. Next, we will explain a specific method. From the normal direction, the turnpikes is inclined to 45 degrees. Step 1. Move the gravity forward. Lift the left leg. At the same time, left hand turns to the palm with bending elbow, and bends right elbow to backwards. Step 2. Step up and land on the left heel. Step 3. Gravity forward with the left hand brush the knee, the right hand bending over, and the right hand hitting forward and downward, which is step forward and punch downward. Now look from the back. 1. Gravity moves forward. Bend your left elbow back. Put your right hand behind your right waist. Left foot touches the ground. Bow stance and brush knee, the bend forward to hip. Now back view again. 1, 2, and 3. R is 3 steps of decomposition. See clearly again. What should you pay attention to for each move? First move, take back both hands. Pay attention to the left hand should change from fist to palm. Move forward with the gravity. Bend the elbow and sink the palm root. Before the right abdomen, turn the waist and lift the knee. Turn the body slightly to the right. Draw a circle to the right back. Bend your elbow and clench your fist with the right fist behind your right waist. Bend the elbow, open the shoulder elbow on the right side of the body, and the angle of the bent elbow is the angle of the next action. Coordinate two hands. At this time, the body is required to turn to the right, stepping forward. So we can see from the camera the body is more positive, which means that my body faces to the right more. Wanna go left? Better go right first. You should turn slightly to the right when left nerves. Lift your knees and open your hips. Sit still, then go up. The body can't move forward directly. The body then turns to the left and moves forward. The body is upright. In this way, the quality of action is a little less perfect. Next, key point here, are stepping up. The left hand sit on the right side of body. Bend the right elbow and clench the right fist on the back side of body. Brow stands forward, while left hand passes forward before the knee to the outside of left knee, and the finger root is on the knee level. So about hands, just said that the bending degree of the hand is the action of bending down and streaking forward, which means that the right fist should directly follow the bending forward and streak downward. This action is straight down, instead of lifting the right fist up and down again, or draw a back arc. Now keep going. This is straight hitting from back to the front, so you should pay attention to the way of the left hand and right hands. The most important thing is the body shape. The shape of this actor is also a forward and lurling movement. So about the needle at the bottom, we want third that the front foot touches the ground. Turn the waist and bend down, and let the humbuckers move backward by putting the two crotches inward. The waist supported backward. Put the tailbone inward. The back pulled up. The whole body is just like a door plank. The waist and the hips are angled then downward together. Then move the gravity back slightly to form a balance with the forward leaning body. Keep more weight on the back foot, which is good for stability. So the same as Zai Chui, but the front leg is a bar stance. After sitting down, push your hand leg off ground and close your hips, bend waist down, fold from the hip root. Pull the back forward, sink the hips, pull the crotch open, and bend over. The gravity is still between the legs. 0.3 at front, 0.7 at the back. If not do like this, move the hips forward, and the gravity will move forward too, so the body won't be stable enough. So when doing this, you have to rotate your waist and hips. What's more, it can make the upper body curls down as a whole, like the door plank, instead of bending the back downward. Now keep your hips steady. Rotate the waist, curl the hips, upward the back, look down laterally and diagonally. Keep your neck flat. Don't bow your head and keep your neck and back smooth. Both 栽锤 and 海底针 are bending down act. I hope you can grasp the structure of your body and keep your stable when practiced. Next, let's look at this action from the back. The shoulders, back, and the hips should be flat. This is a way of 栽锤. We've talked about the Chinese style. Step forward and punch downward is a lunge downward hitting. The next motion is to turn over the wide nerve and spit out the tongue. From the word turnover, we can see that this action first have a rising action to restore the body to an upright state, which is called turning over. How does the body rotate? Turn back and forth. Hang your head, stand upright, and lift it up. The first movement of turn over the body and streak 翻身撇身腿 is also the same. Head up top and the tailbone falling. Roll the hips and the waist. Pull the lower leg in with the hip and buckle the foot inward. The foot should be buckled over 19 degrees. Sit still. This is first move. How about hands? Firstly, turn your right elbow to the back flatly with turning wrist. Pull the shoulder elbow apart and put the hand across the chest. The fist eye facing your heart. The elbow tip facing back. The eyes turn with your head. Look at the direction of elbow tip. That is, the direction behind you. Your hand sits on the palm. Turn round and raising and draw it up to the top of your forehead with an arc. This is the first move. While raising, the second move is to lift the neck. Keep the gravity back. Pull the right neck back. Lift the right knee, relax the left hand, and sit still. Then move forward. Change hand from fist to palm. Clap down with the palm back. Put your hand on right foot, elbow on right knee. Sit still and put your left hand before your left chest. Next move, pull your right elbow backward. Palm faces back and pushes your left hand forward with a lunge from your left chest. The position of a hand is the same as that of long xi elbow. Walker aims to shoulder sockets, right hand sinking beside the right tip. Now let's take a look at next move. The first move is to wrap the hip and buckle the foot as much as possible. Right hand backward flatly, elbow tip facing back. Now we can see clearly in the camera. My elbow tip and eyes are facing the camera. The left hand turns upward with an arc. and one is supported round and the other is flattened. The next move is to up the knee. Lower the left hand and spread it out. Two hands are on the same plane. The left hand is at the same level as the rib. Right hand is facing the softer spot. Notice here, dropping foot with heel while step up, falling foot stops, hitting hand stops, hitting with hand back. Hand to foot, elbow to knee, left hand on your left chest. Then pull the right elbow back with a lunge and push left hand forward. This is the posture. Here is a demonstration of the bend. From this motion, we can see clearly that after the left hand pulled out, the elbow tip is backward, then dropping the elbow, seeking shoulder, arm shoulders down, and finally push the palm out. Now next, I'll show it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like to emphasize 2 tips. First, this action is actually a lunge that changes left and right. Turn the body at 118 degrees. Is the same as the single we learned earlier. All need to hold and wrap hips and buckle your feet. The feet must be buckled between 135 degrees to 19 degrees. Be sure to buckle the line of 19 degrees. In this way, you can up your nerve when you're lifting. After full step, lunge and kick forward. The foot will not roll on the ground. They see something about nerve. Now let me talk about tense. Pay attention that the left hand is pushing forward, which is the twin step palm. Not to lean forward too much. Turn your body to the right with sitting pose. The chest faces to the left slightly. Right palm is upward next to the right hip. We'd better pay attention to the final sitting position of your hands. Next, we will talk about the second 20-second style, parting wild horse mane, left and right. As the name implies, it is a left-right symmetrical movement, which has both left and right sides. Just like low xi elbow, they are all moving forward in a continuous barrel stirrup technique. The left lunge is also a continuous forward movement by swinging the foot and lifting the knee. Since is a continuous lunge conversion, the ways and means of stirring up are the same as that of a brush knee and twin step, low xi elbow. Now make sure the head top, the shoulder, and the hip is flat. The whole value and real movement is divided into 4 positions. Open crouch, swing the foot, turn the wrist, and lift the knee. Sitting the hip and step up. Move the gravity with lunge. Let's view again. Put weight of front foot on the back foot. Don't change the gravity structure of the body. Then open the left hip outward. Take the left heel at the ankles. Swing the foot outward. Pull the hip horizontally. Then turn body to the left. Relax the right hip, upright knee. Roll the wrist to lift the neck up. Sit on the crouch. Put your feet forward and land gently. I want to emphasize again that you should hold your hips Stretch your legs forward like sitting on the stool. It's not now to put knee forward or fall back because of reaching out the nerve. When the heel touches the ground, the gravity moves flatly. Back heel kick. Shift the gravity from the front hip root to the front foot and sinking down. At the same time, relax the knee joint, ankle joint. The gravity should move smoothly. Sitting on the hips is just like sitting on a stool, extending one leg forward to make it feel stable. When you sit on the stool, your hips will not move. You'd better bring this state into practice. Sit here. Tuck in the hip root. Pull the knee rolled up with. Stretch the front hip forward. Pull the two crouch apart. When you step down, like the kick on the ground. Turn the crouch forward. Open the knee and let the power move forward. This is continuous step-up technique of lunge, changing the gravity. The right hand and the left foot are in the same direction. They are in the left and right directions, on the left and the right sides of the body. This is called the twister. As for parting the wild horse's mane, the front hand and foot are in the same direction. Let's see how to do this action. This is a continuous step-up action of lunge. Its procedure is the same. The first move is to open the hip. Swing the right foot, turn the wrist, round up and down with both hands. With the lower hand in front of the abdomen, the up hand in front of the chest. The elbow bends forward, turn sideways, then turn the wrist. Press down with the right hand and separate the left hand from the oblique upper left. Press the right hand down to the front of the hip with the 5 fingers point forward. Next move, sinking the hip, turn the hand over, the palm faces down. The second move, turn the wrist. The right hand will lift the right leg up, stretch the right leg forward, bend the right elbow back, and form a hug with the left hand, and then press the left hand straight with the lunge. Tilt the right hand out to the right. Now let's look in another direction. The first move is to swing the foot. The second, two hands turn around. Lift the knee to hold the board. Step up. The third, press the right hand down and the left hand inclines upward. The second move is to swing the foot. Flatten the left palm and the right elbow. Lift the right leg up. And move the right leg forward. Take the left hand back, front, and behind. Curls to the side while turning wrist. Use the outside of your right forearm to pull out diagonally to the right. Press your left palm down to the front of your left hip and look ahead. One left, one right, one positive, and one negative. Now out and standing the basic techniques of parting wild horse's mane. 野马分鬃. Let's talk about key points to pay attention to each motion. First move is to change from the wide neck, spitting out the tongue. 白舌吐信. Two hands action is the transitional action. You should hold the board. So after you swing your feet, hold your left hand up, turn your right hand down to form a circle, then go forward. Press your right hand and separate the left hand to the front. This is first move. When holding the board in the second movement, and while turning the front palm, we should also turn our wrist and cycle a little, and turning the wrist and tension to bend no hand. Bend the elbow back, hands forward and neck up. Then keep on bending. Bring your elbow forward towards your front neck, hands backward. The hand and elbow face each other. Turn to hold the ball and sit here. Turn your elbow forward and hold your hands diagonally. Take care to relax your shoulders when you separate your hands in the next lunge. Turn your body to the left while lunging. Keep your whole body upright. Relax your shoulders and hold your hands round. Set shoulder or chest out first. Relax shoulders, open them in a round way. Open your shoulders, put your elbow forward, drop elbows, and turn your hands. Sweating with forearm and left palm press with left hand. Opening them, that's alright. We should pay attention hand movements should not affect the body. The upper body also follows. The body should always keep its top flat, shoulder flat, hip flat, and move up, middle, and down steadily. When we learn this movement, we may remember that there is a movement called oblique flying. The two movements look similar in the fixed form. They are all pressed to the hip by one hand. The other hand is extended, palm side up. Now let's talk about the difference between the two actions. First, the oblique flying posture is a large turn of the body, with the hands open, the right hand taking the whole arm at the radius and the shoulders at the center of the circle. Expand to the right at the whole. The hand finally stops outside the right leg. The little finger is at the same level with the outside of your thigh. The left hand is parted with the arc, and the thumb is inclined outward instead of facing forward. Armpit is more open. The arms are round, and the back is round, just like swing arms flying high, which is oblique flying trend. The parting white horse's mane is a little complex, and the hand is light outward with the whole arm when it goes out. Instead, dropping the elbow and let the side of the forearm roll out to the right and up. At the same time, stretch the shoulder forward slightly and send it out. The hand is on your right leg, not to draw an arc outward, but to press down directly from the root of the palm and step down to the front of your left crotch with 5 fingers forward. They are not straightened out, so the one is tight and the other is unfolded. The sitting position is also slightly different. Because this set of teaching video is an introductory teaching of 7 styles, which only explain the practice of actions, we'll explain the usage of actions in the future if there is a chance of follow-up course. If you understand the use of oblique flying and parting white horse mane and know the difference between its power point and the power path, it will be more clear for those two actions with similar shape. There are 2 different actions, but in terms of strength, they all belongs to the same kind of strength method, Tai Ni, the same strength method of folding both hands. However, the purpose, distance, and the emergency mode are different. This is second problem to pay attention to. Now we will explain the up step, which is the same as Lou Xi Ao Bu, but there is a little difference. For example, the Lou Xi Ao Bu is to swing the third outward, turn the hand, turn the waist, expand the palm, lift the knee, and then step up, bow stance, brushley, push palm. After parting wide towards main and swan feet, the leg will move forward as soon as it is lifted. The motion of one leg staying in the air is missing. Pay attention to a step-up action is to lift up in order to move up, but you can move up without lifting up. In all lunges, we lift our lower leg with knee and hand it on the hips. The shoulders, crouch, and feet should be on the vertical plane before they can relax, then reach out, or have such process. But don't pause. You can take this as an action. Swing your feet, lift your knee, stop here, and straighten it out again. This action will be delayed. Because of the different hand movement, the decomposition of the step in the middle is different. Second, the step of 野马分鬃 itself needs to step up, and hand and feet should be in place at the same time. Holding the ball in the middle and stepping up are all in one go. 3 problems for pay attention to. Let me show you these movements together from Twin Peaks, so that we can have a whole concert. Step up and punch down. Turn over wide leg, short turn. Most important is mains on both sides. One more again. Twin Peaks. Step up, punch downward. Turn over wide leg, short turn. Master parting is main. Now, these are all the teaching material of this class. Thank you.
So now we are finished our class. 有问题的话可以留言在那个微信里边，好吧？祝大家周末愉快。我们随后还有回放，大家可以关注我们的YouTube 网站，还有我们的微信公众号、直播公众号，好吧 ？Okay, thank you very much for all for watching today our 37 course, and see you in April next month. Okay, bye bye.